Hey, excuse me. Need some help?
No, I'm good.
Let me take a look.
You know anything about cars?
No, not really.
I definitely remember meeting him for the first time, but I don't remember much of what we talked about because I was just a little bit too starstruck. It was very overwhelming. But I know, I got to his office and I was there before him and he walked in and suddenly I just thought, oh, there's Robert Redford. There he is, right there. He sat down about this far away from me and the whole time I was thinking of Robert Redford sitting next to me. I rarely get starstruck, but with him it was just, he's been around for so long, he's such an icon that it was impossible not to be. And he has a tremendous way of putting anyone at ease while also never completely diffusing the situation. You are always very aware that there's a legend sitting across from you. He had seen this film I made called Ain't Them Body Saints that had been at Sundance and had gone through the Sundance labs. And I think he just liked it. He liked how unusual it was, and he liked that it was about bank robbers in Texas, and yet not really about bank robbers in Texas. And so he just thought I might be the right person to take a crack at this story that he'd been wanting to tell for a while. So he sent me the article from the New Yorker, and I responded to it. Of course, if Robert Redford calls you to see if you want to work on something, you generally are going to say yes. And so we met up and talked about it, and I started work.
What did you say you do?
Well, that's a secret.
And why is that?
Well, because if I told you, you probably wouldn't want to see me again.
Who said I was going to see you again?
Would you?
He shows up to act, and part of acting for him is being directed and to collaborate with his director on creating a character and telling the story. So there was never a moment where he put on his director hat or his producer hat and said, here's how things need to happen, or hey David, have you thought about putting the camera over here instead of right there? He really leaves that up to his director and is there to perform. He's there to act. He shows up, he knows his lines, and there's no sense of vanity on his part. He's not there to be a movie star, he's there to be an actor and to do the best job he can.
Excuse me, I'd like to open up an account.
Well, great. What type of account do you have in mind?
This kind. This kind.
You said he was armed.
He had a gun.
You saw it.
Well, he was also sort of a gentleman.
He was very polite.
He seemed like a nice enough fella.
Look at that. Is he smiling?
He mentioned it in an interview right before we started shooting, while we were in prep, while we were scouting locations. And I absorbed the knowledge, absorbed the information, and quickly just forgot about it because I did not want to have the burden of thinking about this being the last thing he ever did on film while we were making the film itself. So I didn't think about it. I didn't let myself think about it, and by and by, I actually forgot until the movie was about to come out a few weeks ago and he started talking about it again. The script was done, and I think if I had thought about it, if I had let myself think about it, I might have changed it. I might have tried to add a greater sense of import or more weight to the film, but that's not the movie we set out to make, and I didn't want any finality on his part to infuse itself with the story we were trying to tell.
Well, let's take this place. Say it was a bank, and instead of that counter up there, that was really a teller's window, and you just walk in real calm. So you walk right up, look her in the eye, and you say, ma'am, this is a robbery. And you show her the gun like this, and you say, I wouldn't want you to get hurt, because I like you. I like you a lot. So don't go breaking my heart now, okay?
You're not serious.
I don't know, like, as with the character, he loves doing what he does, and I have a feeling it would be hard for him to stop, but I know that he would rather not waste time on set waiting for a camera to get set up or waiting for the set to be lit. And as an actor, you waste a lot of time. You have to there's so much downtime, and I know that that can be frustrating for anyone, but especially for someone who's been doing it for 60 years. So I wouldn't be surprised if, another part, presented itself to him that he wanted to do, but that it was a supporting role, or if he, he's got movies he wants to direct. So I have a feeling, in short, I think he'll be on a film set again before too long, but he probably, if he decides not to act again, I won't be surprised. Definitely. There have been a number of times where I just felt like I wasn't good enough, or that there was no point in continuing. There were times early in my career where I just despaired and thought, I'm never going to make it. I'm not going to be able to make a living doing this. Thankfully, now I'm able to make a living doing it, but I also still have, crises of confidence or I get disenchanted with the industry and just feel like I'd be happier writing or doing something else. Well, when I was younger, it was the fact that I had no other skill set. I just thought I either have to do this or I didn't know what to do. I had nothing else I was good at. And so even when I was, barely managing to pay my phone bill and living in my car, I just felt this is the one thing I can do that I know how to do. And if I just stick to it, and if I don't quit, maybe eventually someday something will happen, and I'll be able to subsist on this, and I'll be able to make a living for myself. Someone will pay for my movies other than myself. These days, because it's more philosophical and less circumstantial, I'm able to pay my bills now, which is great. I'm able to make a living doing what I love, and it's more about whether doing what I love is enough, whether that is actually contributing to the world, contributing to culture in a positive way, and whether I'm, adding to the conversation in a meaningful way. And sometimes I wonder if I am, and I get worried that I'm not, and I lose confidence and think I just need to quit while I'm ahead, But again, if I take a few months off or a few weeks off, I just have to get back. All of a sudden ideas will come back to me, and I'll find myself writing a script. And before too long, I'll be in love with the idea of making movies again.
Another city, baby, another town.
He spent his whole life locked up, except for the times that he broke out.
Somebody should have told him to quit while he was ahead.
Well, you find something you love.
Come following down.
I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be.
You're never exactly where you're supposed to be, are you? Now, whenever I close the door, I think, is this the last time I'll ever have a chance to do whatever that thing was?
You know what I do when the door closes? I jump out the window.
Living is a gamble, baby. Loving's much the same. Wherever.
I sat down with him once and I said, surely there's an easier way to make a living. And he looked at me and he said, I'm not talking about making a living. I'm just talking about living.